on CTV News at 5.
Most folks want to chat about it, and it feels like a big moment that we all get to witness.
Ready for liftoff. The excitement building in the Maritimes for the historic Artemis II launch.
It needs maintenance over time if you want to sustain it, so it's really critical and wonderful that that the home is being preserved, and we'll be able to keep it going for many, many years to come.
Preparing for renovations. What's in store for the Naval Museum of Halifax?
I'm appreciative of the support that I have and the support that I receive.
Hitting the court. A North Preston basketball player is riding high following his March Madness debut.
Colder temperatures and patchy flurries tonight. A bit of a gray day tomorrow for parts of the region.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Stephanie Seacos. Maria Panapallis is off tonight. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, moon mission. We're just over 2 hours away from the historic launch of the Artemis II. For the first time in more than 50 years, humans are being sent back to the moon. As CTV's Jonathan McGinnis reports, the excitement for this mission is taking off here in the Maritimes. Jonathan.
Well, it sure is, Stephanie. I'm here at the Discovery Center where there's a full week of activities and giveaways all dedicated to the launch of the Artemis II mission that just happens to include this guy. For the first time in 53 years, humans are heading to the moon.
It's a big step. It's a big milestone.
Apollo 17 paved the way in 1972, landing man on the moon. Artemis II is returning with 4 astronauts aboard, and while their mission is to orbit the moon, the goal is to be a stepping stone for deeper space exploration.
The underlying theme is really exploration. And we do want to go to the moon so that we can actually then go on and explore even larger distances and go on even to the solar system itself.
One of the 4 making the 10-day trip is Canadian Jeremy Hansen. The global importance of the mission isn't lost on him.
The other thing we've focused on quite a bit as a crew is just listening to other people's perspectives on the moon and how different cultures look at the moon. And when we go back, honoring just how humanity, we all share this same moon in the sky, but honoring humans around the world and how they revere the moon. That's really important to us.
The Discovery Center in Halifax is also on board, sort of. The Mission Discovery Show in the center's Dome Theater provides a glimpse at what the 4 astronauts could see.
But now that it's really happening, most folks want to chat about it, and it feels like a big moment that we all get to witness.
Even more special after having hosted Hansen at the Discovery Center to promote the mission.
All the astronauts at the Canadian Space Agency do such a good job reaching out and getting involved and talking to people. So we've had Jeremy Hansen here before, we've had Chris Hadfield here before.
Even though they are not landing on the moon this time, if all goes well, the plan is for a lunar landing in 2028. And as we said, this is a 10-day mission that will see the 4 astronauts orbiting the moon. We're now just a couple hours away from the scheduled launch of this mission, and the excitement here continues to grow. Stephanie.
Thanks, Jonathan. That's CTV's Jonathan McGinnis reporting at the Discovery Center in Halifax. And that brings us to tonight's web poll. We are asking, have you been following coverage of the Artemis II moon launch? Your options are simple, yes or no. Go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in. Now we'll see what's coming up tonight on CTV News at 6 with Bruce Frisco.
Bit of breaking news for you tonight, Stephanie. RCMP in Nova Scotia asking for your help in locating a missing 8-year-old boy. Nicholas Mercer was last seen today about 12:30 p.m. on Whidden Street in Antigonish. There's a picture on your screen. Nicholas is described as about 4 feet tall. He has brown hair, hazel eyes, and freckles. He was last seen wearing black pants with a beige fur lining and black boots. He may be wearing his jacket inside out. Anyone with information on the whereabouts, Nicholas Mercer asked to contact Antigonish County District RCMP as soon as possible. To remain anonymous, you can call Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers. NB Power customers are going to have to dig a little deeper. The Energy and Utilities Board today approving a request from the company for a 4 3/4% rate hike for the fiscal year ending in 2027. This will add nearly $11 a month for the average residential customer. Details and reaction coming up tonight at 6. And this was no April Fool's Day joke. A wintry mix sweeping across New Brunswick overnight and into this morning. Monctonians awoke to find the whole city encrusted in ice. All of this made for the usual slew of car accidents around the hub city, which kept emergency crews very busy. Further north, it was a snowfall of close to 15 centimeters to kick off April. We'll have more on that for you tonight on CTV News at 6. And Kaylin, you called it. You told us this is exactly what it was going to be.
Yeah, it was slick out there for parts of the Maritimes, both late last night and this morning. That mixture of snow, ice pellets, and freezing rain moving through. Not only parts of New Brunswick getting into that snowy and icy mix, but also areas of Prince Edward Island and parts of the north and east of Nova Scotia, down towards the southwest of New Brunswick, the coastal areas. It did remain mostly as rain, and same thing goes for western Nova Scotia, where right now we have some milder temperatures showing up for some coastal areas, including Shelburne right now reporting a temperature near 10 degrees. It is still chillier, though, in northern and eastern parts of the Maritimes, where temperatures are mostly in the range of between around -2 and 0. Taking a look at the winds, they're out of the north and northwest at this time. They're being sustained in most cases between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour, getting a few gusts reported up to around 30 kilometers per hour, but that's about it. Over on radar and satellite, now even though the bulk of that sort of snow, that icy mix, the combination ice pellets and freezing rain and rain, has cleared away from the Maritimes, we have been left with a lot of cloud cover around the region. And the cloud cover is going to be around as we make our way through this evening and tonight. Underneath the clouds, there'll be a low chance of a few flurries or a little bit of patchy freezing drizzles. You can think of that as sort of scattered coverage for that lighter precipitation. There'll be a few flurries on the go for a few areas in northern New Brunswick right now, and the chances of patchy freezing drizzle a little bit higher around the southeast of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and northern eastern areas of Nova Scotia. We have a very similar weather system coming up on Friday, in that it's another warm front coming into the Maritimes, and once again a mix of precipitation expected along with it. I'll have more in the forecast over the next couple of days when I'm back a little bit later on. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. This weekend is Easter, and the Veterans Community Pantry in Dartmouth is making sure kids will have some chocolate to celebrate. Workers are busy putting together almost 100 baskets packed with candy for families in need. The baskets will be given out by Friday, just in time for the holiday. Canadian Armed Forces and RCMP vets are able to shop for groceries at the pantry to help with the rising cost of living.
People are really hurting. The cost of groceries it's insane. Our Veterans Community Pantry down here has never been busier. We have a lot of members who are using the pantry and people that we're helping through Vets Canada that have a lot of kids. And a lot of those kids, their parents wouldn't be able to afford Easter. So we're really happy to be able to do it, and we have some great sponsors, and we just want to make sure that folks have an opportunity to have a really great Easter.
The community pantry was opened last year and has already distributed more than 16,000 pounds of food to veterans and their families. Time for our first break this evening. Still to come tonight, a roundup of some of the most creative April Fool's jokes. We also have this story next.
Hi, I'm McConvey here at the Naval Museum of Halifax. Coming up on CTV News at 5, a last chance to visit as the space will be closed for the next couple of years. I'll have more on the renovations and what's to come next.
It's the best night of the year. Join Jose Bautista, Brett the Hitman Hart, and Jennifer Botterill at the Desjardins Sports Charity Dinner April 16th in Halifax. Funds raised support Canadian Progress Club Halifax. For tickets, visit progressclubhalifax.ca.
You are the dancing queen.
We have an update to share this evening on Holly Noss of Holly's Creations. Her job with Autism Nova Scotia was impacted by provincial funding cuts. While the province ended up reversing those cuts, the status of her job was still up in the air. As it turns out, the day Holly was to be laid off by Autism Nova Scotia, she was offered a new position with the organization. Her father, Paul, wants to thank everyone for the support shown to Holly during this time. And of course, congratulations, Holly, on the new job. CTV wants to send you to see a Halifax Tides game. You and 3 friends could be cheering on Halifax's professional women's football club in style. One lucky viewer will win a game day prize package that includes 4 VIP tickets, 4 Halifax Tides jerseys, 1 night at the Cambridge Suites Hotel Halifax, and a $100 gift card to the Gahan House Nova Centre. To enter, head to ctvatlantic.ca and follow the contest prompts or scan the QR code on your screen right now. You have until Saturday at 5 p.m. to enter. Good luck, everybody. Time is running out to check out the Naval Museum of Halifax. In about 24 hours, the space will close to the public for 2 years for renovations and upgrades. CTV's Emma Convey now on what's in store for the museum.
One by one, each rare book is carefully bundled and boxed as the Naval Museum of Halifax prepares for a 2-year closure.
For the most part, the renovations are limited to sort of regular maintenance, new windows, repointing the masonry, some infrastructure work.
For 50 years, it's brought the history of the Royal Canadian Navy from ships to shore. The building itself has been around for 200 years, so a facelift is necessary.
We actually plan to do this permanent exhibit project 2 years from now, but we took a look at the timeline for that exhibit project and we took a look at the timeline for the construction project, and we said there's no point in closing twice.
It will be closed to the public starting Thursday, almost a month earlier than anticipated.
We were really hoping to be able to maintain public operations until Battle of the Atlantic Sunday. It's such an important day for the history of the Navy and for the naval community. Unfortunately, just the level of detail and space required to properly pack our collection has just meant we're slowly starting to impact visitation.
Everything must be packed. Pictures removed from walls, artifacts pulled from cases, and finding space to store items, such as their more than 130 ship models. The museum director says the first 4 months will be packing everything up and the last 6 months unpacking.
We're going to have a whole new exhibit that's going to be in this floor, which will make more of our facility and exhibits accessible. As you go upstairs, we're going to have a brilliant sort of spread on our World War II story. We're actually going to talk about Korea. We're going to get into sort of that pre-unification, getting into the Cold War experience up until unification, and then we've planned a large timeline of the history of the dockyard all the way from our second deck all the way down to the basement.
Despite the space itself being closed, staff will still be out in the community, developing their programs and attending festivals. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
So yes, one more day. If you've been really wanting to go to the Naval Museum of Halifax, tomorrow is your last chance for 2 years.
Yeah. I know it's not for a move, it's for renovation, but I have never enjoyed packing, and that looks and sounds like a lot of packing.
Hard to believe that 10 months of this renovation is just the packing and unpacking.
Oh, so much great material in there, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I can't wait to see it after the renovation is complete. All right, weather for today around the Maritimes. Yeah, it was rainy for parts of Nova Scotia. Other areas of the Maritimes, though, saw this, and that is an icy coating left by the freezing rain that made its way across areas of New Brunswick. This is Moncton, but also parts of Prince Edward Island and northern eastern areas of Nova Scotia. More in the forecast next.
Were you fooled by anything today? Well, it's April Fool's Day, and it seems like plenty of people across the Maritimes were getting in on the fun, including Halifax Search and Rescue, which announced a new fleet, the Rapid Response Goose Unit. Some of their tasks, aggressive honking-based signaling and snack theft deterrence. The Downtown Dartmouth Business Commission introduced the commuter slide. It's down the steps to the ferry terminal to save people about 75 seconds on their dash to catch the ferry. Remember the iconic drink Beep? Well, the Halifax Wanderers created the world's first scratch and sniff jersey with scents of orange, apple, and pineapple. Uh-oh, it looks like the Moncton Wildcats mascot, Wild Willie, had a little too much cotton candy and he turned pink. Have you ever wanted to live underground? Arsenault Properties on Prince Edward Island introduced the first underground luxury apartments. And finally, the Cape Breton Regional Library is doing away with boring alphabetical organization and switching to a color-coordinated cataloging system. And while today was April Fool's Day, the weather kind of matched.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe we should say the weather was no joke in the region. Looking out here at the Halifax Public Garden, it was rain coming down. Of course, precipitation in other parts of the region, though, was a mixture of some snow, some ice pellets, and some freezing rain. Thankfully, most of that mix has moved on from us now, that we are left with some cloudy skies. And it's going to be turning cold region-wide for tonight, even those areas that saw mostly rain from this weather system. Temperatures coming down to and below the freezing mark, so be careful about any of those wet surfaces turning icy as we head through tonight into the start of the day for tomorrow. Barometric pressure is bouncing back as we're now getting it behind that low pressure system and the weather fronts associated with it. Climbing back up as there's an area of high pressure that's centered to the west of us, basically right along the border of northern Ontario and western Quebec. Taking a look at our picture, our radar picture that is, not a lot showing up, but as we make our way through this evening and tonight, there is a chance some patchy flurries and a little bit of patchy freezing drizzle. In fact, there's still some light freezing drizzle being reported in a few spots in the Maritimes right now, including at Sydney and in Cape Breton. Taking a look at our timeline for cloud cover and precipitation, so that chance of flurries or a little bit of freezing drizzle showing up through those little flecks of blue that are kind of flashing in and out here as we take a look at our forecast map. Moving through the overnight, it does remain mostly cloudy, and it's going to be a cloudy start to the day on Thursday, cloudy and cold. And then as we make our way into the afternoon, sunny breaks possible. Peaks of sunshine for parts of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. Maybe a bit more of a mix of sun and cloud for northern areas of New Brunswick. We do have a similar weather system arriving on Friday for the Maritimes compared to the one that we just dealt with, and it's going to be packing a similar mix of precipitation as well, with some areas getting into some snow, ice pellets, and freezing rain. Taking a look at winds in the forecast for tomorrow, they are going to be mostly out of an easterly direction. Northeast for New Brunswick and for Prince Edward Island, easterly for Nova Scotia, sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with some gusts between 20 and 40, so a bit breezy across the region. Here's a look at the low temperatures in the forecast for tonight, and for most of the Maritimes, you can see the lows are expected to fall into a range of around -1 to -4. Colder temperatures than that, though, through northern areas of New Brunswick, with some communities as cold as -8 to -11. That'll give us the cold start to the day for tomorrow. Tomorrow's high temperatures, mostly around the low to mid-single digits in the region, up between 1 and 6 degrees in New Brunswick, mildest for western parts of the province. Prince Edward Island, Charlottetown, high temperatures near +1. A little bit chillier for areas of Cape Breton with some high temperatures tomorrow between 0 and 2 degrees. Much of mainland Nova Scotia with high temperatures between 1 and 4. Here's the forecast for Friday, and it's another warm front coming into the Maritimes. So because of the warm air that it's pushing in aloft, that's why we're going to be seeing this mix of precipitation. And once again, it does look like areas of the region that will have the highest chance of getting into, enough snow, ice pelts, and freezing rain to make for some slick conditions. Northern areas of New Brunswick, the east of that province, Prince Edward Island, and northern eastern areas of Nova Scotia. You can see there on Friday the temperatures for that part of the Maritimes expect to be a little bit colder, between -2 and 0. Temperatures milder in western parts of the region. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 6-year-old Malcolm Potier from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. Malcolm has sent us a nautical drawing, and we have some fishing, a lobster trap being lowered, and looks like a shark there as well. So thank you so much for that great drawing, Malcolm. And weather watchers can come in anytime to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. We have an update on something we told you at the beginning of our show. Nova Scotia RCMP had been asking for public assistance in locating an 8-year-old boy in Antigonish. RCMP say he has now been found. Jewish people around the world are preparing to celebrate Passover. The 8-day holiday will be observed from sunset tonight and will end after nightfall on Thursday, April 9th. It is one of the most sacred of Jewish holidays and commemorates the liberation of the Jews from slavery. Time for one final break this evening. Coming up next, shooting for the stars and the net.
I'm Vanessa Wright here in Halifax, and coming up on CTV News at 5, you'll hear from Nova Scotia's own Caleb Johnson about his experience playing at the NCAA tournament, his thoughts on the community support, and why his eyes are set on getting back there next year. That story is coming up next.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
Aaron and Peter's payroll is back, and it's the easiest job you'll ever have.
Register now at move100halifax.ca and then listen for your name Monday at 8.
Nova Scotia native Caleb Johnson is still riding high following his debut at the NCAA March Madness tournament. As CTV's Vanessa Wright tells us, his tournament run may have been short, but his basketball journey is just getting started.
Three-point shooter, but he's put it on the floor.
That was Nova Scotia's own Caleb Johnson, wasting no time on the big stage.
Overall, for me, it's just an experience that I never want to forget, that I never will forget.
The Long Island Sharks forward made his debut at the NCAA March Madness tournament. Though his team fell short to Arizona in the first round, he's proud of the game they played.
For me, I just wanted to come in, be aggressive, play my game, and contribute. I knew I had Canada watching, so I kind of wanted to put on for Canada, especially for Nova Scotia. So.
And they sure were watching. The moment equally as surreal for his family and community back home.
I was super proud as a brother to watch him, and just knowing the experience of what that done for me being there, and just to see how it translated to him. I know he's super high right now in terms of motivation, and he believes, right? I think he always has been a person that believed in himself. And I think just being on that stage just built his belief system even more.
A belief that started years before this moment, during his early days playing basketball in his hometown of North Preston.
Growing up, Caleb was just, he was a sponge for the game. So he was just a person that, like, you could tell by seeing him that he wanted to play basketball. You could just see at an early age that he had the passion and just the drive to do whatever it takes to get him to the next level.
As for what's next, Johnson says his eyes are set on getting back to March Madness next year.
You get a taste of just that experience alone, like, it's something that you want to, you get an opportunity to get back to, it's just something you know you want to get back to.
And with a country behind him, he's looking forward to making them proud.
I'm appreciative of the support that I have and the support that I receive. And yeah, just want to get back in the best way I can.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Always so exciting to see a Maritimer on that stage. And if you are interested, the championship is on Monday, and you can watch that on TSN.
Yeah, and whether you're watching the championship game or maybe a few other games through the weekend, the weather's not bad for it because, you know, it's a little bit hit and miss as we head into and through this Easter long weekend in the Maritimes. And, of course, I will be sorting those details out for you when I come back a little bit later on CTV News at 6.
All right, we'll see you then, Kaylin. Thanks so much for watching CTV News at 5. Your national news is coming up next.